Okay. So, um, I'm not really good at this sort of thing. I've never tried to make a YouTube video before, and I apologize first off. I know the quality of the video isn't super great and the light's kind of dim. Um, I'm filming this kind of late in the evening um, after a long day of work. So, um, yeah. For those of you who don't know who I am, which I'm assuming is pretty much anybody watching this video, my name is Ray. Um, and I'm trying to become healthier. It's not so much that like I'm just trying to lose weight because that's its own kind of death spiral. Um, but I was actually talking to one of my friends about this, about how I miss the feeling of being strong. When I was younger, and again, like comparing yourself to when you were in high school is kind of its own detriment. Um, but I remember when I was in high school and I was on the wrestling team, um, I was like heavy for my age, but I could do a lot of things. So a lot of it was muscle, like muscle weight. And I miss the feeling of that strength. Like I miss the feeling of being strong and being able to do things because I was strong and because I was physically fit. Um, and now I weigh 230 ish pounds. I haven't gotten on a scale today, so I don't know exactly how much I weigh. Sorry, getting a text from a friend. Um, but the heaviest that I've ever been in my life was 240 pounds and change. It was like 240.6 or something like that. And I know that like to some people that weight doesn't seem that bad. Like I know for some people that weight isn't like detrimental, but to me it was crushing because I was always somebody who, even if I wasn't like going to the gym and working out all the time, I always like went out and did things for myself. I kept myself active in like normal everyday ways. Like when I was younger, I would bike ride like 12 miles or something to the library just to like go hang out at the library. And even now that I'm older, like I walk pretty much everywhere. Um, if it's within 1 to 2 miles, I usually walk there. And to be fair, like that's probably it's probably the one thing that's kind of kept my weight from ballooning even more out of control. But when I get done with work, it's like I pretty much just sit at home. Um, and a lot of my hobbies are very sedentary. Like I love to read, do a lot of cross stitch, I do calligraphy, um, I write, I do artwork, but all of that has me like sitting on my butt in my house. I have a sweet tooth. I've always had a sweet tooth, and it's like I was a like heavy but still muscular individual, and then one day I just blinked and I realized that like I had put on all of this weight and I didn't even realize that I was doing it just because I kept making poor decisions and I kept indulging myself. And yeah, I was honestly kind of disgusted with myself because I knew I didn't have anybody to blame but me. And like there have been different points in my life when I've tried to lose the weight and I kept like making excuses for why I couldn't. And now like I have a job that requires me to be on my feet a lot. And, I got to that 240 pounds and I started working to lose the weight. And I lost pretty close to 20 pounds. I got pretty much down to 220. And then even down like 215 at one point. But then I would just bounce between 215 and 220. And then it was between 220 and 225. And now I'm back up over 230. And I know there's nobody who I can blame for it but me. And I mean, like, I can point at my job and be like, oh, I work a lot of long days, and like we stop at like, Culver's or Quick Trip or whatever, and we'll like, get food, and that food isn't really healthy, but like I have options. I can make food for myself at home and bring it with me, or instead of getting, like a cheeseburger and fries at Culver's, I can get a grilled chicken sandwich, or instead of just grabbing like the high fat breakfast sandwich from Quick Trip, I can grab a protein shake from the fridge section. Also, I apologize if you can hear my neighbors. um, so I guess I kind of realized that I've been putting on the weight because I've been indulging myself. And I've been making excuses for why I can't lose the weight and why I can't put in the effort. And it is putting in effort. Like, it's hard. It's not like it's easy to lose weight once you hit a certain weight. Like, I feel like once you get past a certain, like, weight threshold, it's really hard to lose that because you've built a certain lifestyle, and breaking bad habits is always really difficult. But I decided those 2-ish years ago when I saw 240 on the scale that I was never going to see that number again. And so far I haven't. But if I just focus on the numbers, if I just look at the numbers on the scale and not what that means, like, for my life, and I don't set any goals aside from just like a number on the scale, it's not going to mean anything. Because then I'm not like working towards anything substantial. At least for me. I know for some people, like, looking at the number on the scale, that is the motivator for them. But for me, that's just a recipe for disaster. I have to set other goals. Like, what do I want to achieve? What do I want to work towards? And that was something that, like, I was kind of talking to somebody about that, where it's like, oh, I want to lose weight. Okay, but why? What's the why? Why do you want to lose weight? Are you trying to obtain a certain, like, figure? Are you trying to, like, look a certain way? Are you trying to just live healthier? Are you trying to, like, obtain a certain fitness level? Like, are you trying to run a marathon? What do you want to do? Why are you trying to see a certain number on the scale? Why are you trying to achieve certain things? Like, what are you trying to achieve, and why? And for me, I just want to feel strong again. I want to feel good in my own skin. And I think the way to do that is to set small goals and just kind of work towards them, and then as I reach them, I can readjust. I used to be able to bench press almost 120 pounds. I have not recently gone to the gym as far as to, like, going to an actual gym to do bench press stuff and, like, weights and all that kind of stuff, so I would genuinely be surprised if I could even bench press the bar. I know I can't do, like, a standard push-up right now. It's extremely difficult for me. I can't run a mile. I have plantar fasciitis, which basically means my plantar fascia, that, I forget if it's a tendon or a ligament that runs from the ball of your foot to the heel of your foot, is all inflamed and tight, and It's extremely painful, and I'm going to physical therapy for it. Um, that makes it really, really hard for me to run. But physical therapy is helping, so there's that. So right now, my goals are I want to be able to do a push up, I want to be able to do a pull up, and I want to be able to run a mile. I can walk pretty well most places. I mean, like I said, I walk around a lot, so like I usually put in at least a mile every day walking. And that's literally just like walking to and from work. It's like about a mile to my job, so um, I yeah. As far as that goes, like I usually walk at least a mile. If I don't have like a ride home, then it's 2 miles, every day that I work. If I need to go get groceries, it's a mile to the grocery store, a mile and change to the grocery store. So 2 miles to get groceries round trip. The other day I went on a ruck with my brother, which for those of you who don't know what a ruck is, it's kind of like speed walking, except you're supposed to carry like a weighted pack. It's for military folks, they'd carry all their gear with them, and then hike to wherever they're going. I do not do a weighted one. It's just me walking with my brother. He does all the weights and stuff because he's far more physically fit than I am. Yeah, but I did that the other day, about 2.5 miles. So I'm making progress. My goal right now is to try and do something active every day outside of like my standard stuff that I do every day. So like I could very easily be like, oh, I walked a mile to work today, and that's gonna count as like my active stuff. My goal is to go beyond what I've done so far, because I think so far, I mean, like, clearly what I'm doing is not enough. You know, I'm walking to and from work, but that's not keeping me healthy. That's just keeping me from ballooning out of control. And so, yes, I'm walking to and from work, but I want to do something on top of that. And I'm not saying like I have to go to the gym for 3 hours after a 10-hour shift, because I work a lot of 10s and 12s. But even just doing, 5 minutes of boxing warm-ups. That's something that I recently was looking into, is doing some boxing warm-ups. And so, surprisingly exhausting. So like two sets of 2 minutes of shadow boxing, doing just some random warm-ups, doing wall push-ups, watching Richard Simmons videos, and doing, going along with those to the best of my ability, just doing something. It's weird to me because like I am sore, like even right now I'm sore, but it feels good because I feel like I'm actually making progress on something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. And I don't know what it is that clicked in my head. I think it's just that, like, I'm looking at my life where I am right now, and I'm looking at what I've accomplished up to this point, and where I want to be, and who I want to be. And I don't want to be the kind of person who is known for just sitting around and not doing anything when they know that they could make changes for themselves. Yeah. So I don't know how often I'm gonna make videos for this. To be quite honest, I don't even know if I'm gonna post this. But I kind of want to do it just to keep myself accountable. Like, if I know somebody's out there watching, like if I have the responsibility to post it, then it'll help keep me on track. you know, because it's really easy to fall off. It's really easy to fall off the wagon when you're the only one keeping you accountable. You know, it's always harder to do it when it's just you and you don't have anybody helping you. And so I think if there's something out there to help keep me accountable, I mean, I've obviously started the Instagram page. I'm always really bad at posting to Instagram, though. But I just really want to try. And I think maybe as an aside too, like, if I can help anybody else who maybe feels a little uncomfortable or a little scared, and help them feel like they can accomplish things, I think that would be really cool. I don't expect anybody to see me and be inspired by me or anything like that, but I hope that maybe I can encourage some people. Maybe, I don't know. But it's mostly just to keep myself accountable. And to keep track of my progress, you know. So when I started, I believe I was 232.6. I weighed myself on Saturday, and I think I was 231 even. I'll probably weigh myself again on Wednesday, because I think that's when I started my Instagram page. It's either a week on Wednesday or a week on Thursday. So I'll at least be updating my Instagram on that day, just to see for the 1 week weigh-in. But I don't know how often I'll post videos. But feel free to follow along. We'll see what happens. Take care of yourselves, guys. And yeah, let's go on a journey.